Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'll be sharing the cards I made using Paper Rose Studios Butterfly Garden 6x6 paper collection. I'll open up the package so you can see all the beautiful papers that are included. There are 18 double-sided pattern papers, 3 each of 12 designs. So I'll go through the first 6 sides. There is one sheet that has cut-aparts, there's some small images and also sentiments. The colors in this collection are just beautiful. So now I'm repeating those first 6, so we'll just flip them over so you can see the other 6 designs. There are lots of lovely floral patterns. We have some diagonal stripes. There's a couple of watercolor looking backgrounds as well. I love the sheets that have these beautiful florals in the corners and along the side of the paper. So now we're back to the first 6 designs, since you do get 3 of each. Now what's really fun, they now have some die cut coordinating collection packs. So to go with the Butterfly Garden collection, there is a die cut pack. You will need to punch these out, but they come out really easily. So you can see it's really only connected by 2 or 3 little tabs. The suggestion is to use a craft knife and you can just cut those out. But I did end up just punching them out and then using my scissors and trimming off that tiny tab. So whatever works best for you. I just love that I didn't have to fussy cut out any of these. There are 4 sheets included in the pack and they're all different designs. So we have florals, there's butterflies, there's several sentiments, more beautiful butterflies. There's also a really nice variety of sizes. So you have that larger butterfly and also some teeny tiny ones. I was so excited when I saw the coordinating die cut packs. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I'm using a card sketch from Sketch Saturday. This is number 694. I selected 2 different pattern papers and they are from the same sheet. It's the front and back. So at the bottom we have a bunch of words. And at the top we have some beautiful yellow and light brown butterflies. I'll add the 2 pattern papers to some gold mirror cardstock. Then I'll layer this panel on some dark brown cardstock. So it'll have that beautiful shine and also some nice contrast with that dark brown. I'll put my card front onto a card base. And all of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches. Next, I'll add a stitch circle die cut. I use some white shimmer cardstock. Just glue that down directly using liquid adhesive. For the 2 banners on the right side, I'm using some of the brown cardstock and also a bright yellow cardstock. I'll just cut a fishtail on the end. You can use a die if you want a nice clean look. I generally do okay cutting my fishtails. They're not always perfect, but I think that's what's unique about card making. So I'll glue down those banners using some liquid adhesive. Next, I'll be adding one of the butterfly die cut pieces. I did put some foam dimension on the back side to pop it up. Then a final finishing touch, I'm using some brown bling that I have on hand. I'll put 2 in the upper right hand corner and 3 around the butterfly. I decided to leave off a sentiment since there's all those different words in that pattern paper on the bottom of the card. So there is my finished card. I did make 2 using this design, and then using that same design concept, I also made these 2 cards. Now they're not 2 different pattern papers since it has that lovely floral design at the bottom of one of the papers and then the stripes on the top. I thought it still worked nicely with that card sketch. Now moving on to card design number 2. The card sketch is from MFT. This is number 582. I'm switching from yellow and brown to some pretty blues. I have this fun watercolor looking paper for the background, adding a panel of blue butterfly pattern paper. And these again are the same sheet. It's just the front and back side. I'll be layering all of this on some blue cardstock. And for the banner that goes in the background, I'm using that same solid blue cardstock. I didn't want to bring in any other pattern paper, especially since you'll only see the very outside edge of that banner. So I'll glue that down first. Then before attaching this butterfly panel, I'll put some scrap cardstock pieces above and below where that blue banner is. And that'll just help keep this piece nice and level. Then I'll put liquid adhesive on the back and adhere it to the card. Then I'll add ATG tape on the back of this piece and add my card front onto a card base. I noticed there was the tag from the cardstock, so I did have to remove that first. For the sentiment, I used the stamp set Happy Birthday Mini. It's a 2x4-inch stamp set. There is one sentiment included on that set. It's hello there, you're how old? But I decided to just use half of that sentiment, so I stamped out hello there. I cut a fishtail on the right side of the sentiment. Before adhering it to the card, I will add that scrap cardstock on the very left side where it goes off of that butterfly paper. And I did need to add 2 little pieces to keep it at the same level. I'll adhere it to the card using some liquid adhesive. Next, I'll add a few of the butterfly die cut pieces. One of the larger butterflies will go in the lower right-hand corner, and the smaller butterfly will go above the sentiment in the upper left-hand corner. I did put some thin foam dimension on the back side of each of the butterflies. To finish off the card, I'll add a few blue gem stickers, one to the right of that larger butterfly and 2 next to the butterfly and sentiment in the upper left-hand corner. So there is my finished card. I did make a total of 4 using this sketch, 2 in blue, and the other 2 cards I have the green striped paper for the background and that smaller panel. This is the pattern paper that had that beautiful floral design in one of the corners. I did flip the design so I could have the sentiment on the right side and not cover up too much of that beautiful floral pattern. For card design number 3, I'm using a card sketch from OWH. This is number 39, and I apologize now for blinding you with this lovely iridescent cardstock. For the background, I'm using some white shimmer cardstock. Then I have some of the yellow pattern paper with all the words on it, and I'm layering it on some green iridescent cardstock. You'll only see about 1/4 of an inch of that iridescent cardstock, but with my lights, it does get a little shiny and rainbowy. I layered that background piece on some dark green cardstock, put my card front onto a card base. And this sketch is perfect for using some of the small cut-aparts that are included in the paper pad. I selected 2 of the cut-aparts that just have a floral design, and then the one in the center also has the sentiment Happy Birthday. Instead of adhering them directly onto that yellow pattern paper, I decided to line them up and put them on some vellum first. So I'm putting the outside 2 pieces down first, then I can get the one in the center nice and evenly placed. Now I will be popping up this panel. So I'm going to flip it over. First I'll add some scrap cardstock on the very outside edges. Since I am adhering these cut-aparts to vellum, I just want to make sure that all of the adhesive will be on the back side of those cut-apart pieces. So now I'll put some foam dimension on the back of this strip. And I'm making sure to keep it on the back side of those cut apart pieces. So trying to get good coverage so there isn't one area that sags down. Remove the release paper and adhere it to the card. At first I had it upside down, so I'm glad I caught that before pressing it onto the card. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a few gold gem stickers, 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 1 in the lower right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, super sparkly. I love how this one turned out. And for the second card, I simply used some of the different cut-aparts. For card design number 4, I'm using a pattern paper that has all these beautiful and colorful butterflies. I'll be adding a large banner to the background. Use some more of the yellow pattern paper with all the words, and the banner die is Banner 1 large die set. I put some ATG tape on the back and also some liquid adhesive along the very outside edge. Since it does have that stitch detail, Just want to make sure it stays down nicely. And I'll use my scissors, flip over this panel and trim off that extra bit. Put some ATG tape on the back of this panel, layer it first on some gold mirror cardstock and then again on some dark blue cardstock. I just love that little bit of shine from the 1/8 of an inch gold mirror cardstock. Put my card front onto a card base. Then using the stitched oval die set, I cut out 2 different ovals. I have one with that same gold mirror cardstock, and then the white one I use some of the white shimmer cardstock. And I'll layer those 2 together, offsetting them slightly so you just see that peak of gold off on the left side. Now I'll add several of the die cut pieces. This beautiful floral arrangement, and I will be popping most of them up using some foam dimension. So the flower will go down first, just cutting some smaller foam pieces so those top little areas don't sag down. And then I'll adhere it on the left side of the oval. I have 2 of the butterflies, and they will be overlapping the flower just a little bit. So I only need to add the foam dimension on the side where it won't touch that floral die cut piece. Using one of the sentiment die cut pieces, this is lovely. I'll put liquid adhesive on the left side of the sentiment piece and then some foam dimension on the right side where it goes off of the ovals. This card design is a little busier with that background paper and then all the die cut images, but I really like how it turned out. I think having that yellow muted pattern paper for the banner and the gold and white for the oval really helps tone down some of that busyness. To finish off the card, I'll add some of the small brown gem stickers. Put 2 in the upper left hand corner, 2 of them around the sentiment and 1 to the right of that larger butterfly. Or it might be a moth, I'm not really sure. So there is my finished card. I made 2 with that same butterfly pattern paper, added a little basket of flowers to the oval, and then I did another 2 with that same sketch design, just using a different floral pattern paper and die cut pieces. I really like how they all turned out. I think my favorite is this one with those beautiful pink flowers. For card design number 5, I'm using a sketch from OWH. This is number 219. This is a sketch I have used so many times, but for this card I decided to rotate it. So I have a little bit left of that pattern paper that features some flowers along the edge, and I didn't want to cover those up. So I thought if I turn the sketch and have those flowers on the outside edge, then you'll still be able to enjoy that pretty paper. I used some of the green and white diagonal stripe paper for that piece on the left side. The very background, I'm using some cream or off-white pearlescent cardstock, and I'm layering everything on some dark green cardstock. For that 3/8 inch strip, I'm using some more of the gold mirror cardstock. I put some double-sided tape on the back side just to make sure it stayed attached. And I'll put my card front onto a card base. This is a very simple card design, and I'm not really following this sketch exactly. After adhering that gold strip, I noticed I didn't cut it quite long enough, so I did trim down the edge of that panel. Put my card front onto a card base. Another reason I selected this sketch is so I could use some of the circle sentiment die cut pieces. So this is Thinking of You, and it has this beautiful wreath going around it. Since I will be adhering it on top of that gold strip, I'm adding some foam dimension just on those outside edges. Then I'll put some scrap cardstock in the center, and this will just help keep everything nice and level. So remove the release paper, add some liquid adhesive on those cardstock strips, and then adhere it onto the card, trying to make sure to get that sentiment nice and straight. And for a finishing touch, I'll add some more of the gem stickers. This is a lovely gray color. Put 2 in the upper right hand corner and 1 to the left of the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now here's another look at the 16 cards I made using Paper Rose Studios Butterfly Garden 6x6 paper collection and also the coordinating die cut pack. This is a beautiful collection. I love the colors, lots of yellows, and there's that little bit of blue. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. Paper Rose is located in Australia and they do ship their products internationally, but you can also purchase them here in the US. And I do have links for both locations provided below. And I wanted to show you real quick another beautiful butterfly paper collection. This is called Butterfly Bliss. Now there isn't a coordinating die cut pack, but look at how beautiful this collection is. Blues, pinks, and some black. There is the one sheet that has cut aparts. As soon as I saw this collection, I knew I needed to use it. This sheet right there, the pink with that little bit of blue, is my absolute favorite. I will be using this collection in a video, and I know sometimes people want to know what paper pads I'll be using so they can purchase ahead of time. So I'm letting you know now, this is definitely one of those. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.